Welcome once again. So in our previous video, we looked at how to add a subject and do the setting for our continuous assessments. In this video, we are going to look at how we are going to insert the student names. That's one of the major things we have to do as we use our system. Let's go to our folder here. But there's one thing I want us to look at. Remember, in our JHS folder, we duplicate these files, but we only work on the basic 7. So in order not for you to do another subject addition in basic 8 and basic 9, we will have to delete all these things that we duplicated, because we've only added a subject to basic 7. So for it to be very simple, now let's duplicate basic 7 rather. So let's copy, then paste. Then we'll rename this to basic 8. So that it's not now we are going to enter the subject again all over again, because we already done that with the basic 7, basic 9 for our work to be very easy. Now let's open basic 7. Then we look at how we are going to insert the student names. So always we have to log in with our credential. Go to our username, then password. So we are welcome again. So in our previous, we've already done our subject, and our subjects are popping up here. Done our CA as well. Now we are going to work on how we are going to add the student names. And I told you we will be using the term 1. So let's go to term 1. The moment you come to term 1 or each term, we have similar interface for every term. So our dates, January CA, Clear CA, Import CA, Export CA, Photo ID, exams. And at the left here, you realize that when you go to dashboard, some function has been collapsed. So when you click on term 1, we have these new tabs that will appear. So one will take us to the appraiser. That's where we are going to insert the student names. And that's the same window we will export to the class teachers for them to do their conduct, remark, and the rest. Then the broadsheet. This is a broadsheet I was talking about. So we have this broadsheet and this broadsheet. So with this broadsheet contains the exam score and the class score, and it will do the calculation based on the exam score and the class score. With this broadsheet, it will use only the exam score. That, let's say if you've written a mock or a midterm, you can use this one to print the broadsheet. Then the report tab. So this one will take us to the report for the term 1. And when we go to report here, we realize this is our report and our subjects have been registered here. And let's go back to term 1. Then the head. This is where we can export the head's remark sheet to him or her to fill. Then after that, we import it back. Then bills. This is where we are going to enter the bills or the arrears and other things for the class. So we can, this one, export the bill sheet. It's a bill sheet. It's not a fee system, but this one is a bill sheet. We have a fee system that is on its own too, which is there. We will discuss on that one too later. So the bill sheet is just the sheet that you are going to enter the student bills on it. Then the SMS, this way we will be sending the messages to the parents. So the summary of the student performance, then we just send it to the parents. You have term 1, term 2, then the other. We are familiar with this. So let's see, how are we going to insert the student names? So before we go, let's check something here. So you have the male. At the male, you realize you have 0 male, 0 female, then total students are 0. The CA that we see here means continuous assessment. So this button here will help us to generate the CA in PDF. So someone may wonder, if you are using electronics, sometimes you have to also keep data of the hardware. So you can generate the PDF of all the continuous assessment here before or after they fill it. In some institutions, teachers may like to write before they enter. There's a feature here that you can print it out for them to fill. After filling, then they will enter. Then you can also clear CA. So this button here will clear all the marks in a continuous assessment. Then we can also export the CA, of which we discuss it later. So with this subject that we have registered, you can export them as an Excel sheet for them to enter on their phone. Then the photo ID will take us straight to where we are going to insert the student pictures. Then the exam broadsheet as we discussed. So let's go to our appraiser. So at our appraiser window here, this is where we are going to insert the student names. You realize that there are no students in our sheet here. Let's look at some features here. So we have the facilitator's name. This one, we do these settings at the dashboard. So at the dashboard, let's try and enter facilitator's name. So Price Tech as the class teacher. Now let's go back to term 1 appraiser, and our class teacher's name is there. We are working on term 1. So we can import something, and we can create something and clear and save. What can we import here? You see that we have term 1, term 2, term 3. This import function helps us because this is term 1. If this was supposed to be term 2, after entering or registering all the students in term 1, there will be no need for us to enter the student name again in term 2. So at the term 2 window appraiser, we can just click on import. Then from here, enter 1 to import the learner's name from term 1. So if we select this one, if we were in term 2, it will import all the names that we have registered in term 1 without us typing it again when we move to the next term. So that's the function of this import here. Then create. So for the conduct, this is the teacher's conduct, the one that they will be doing. So let me zoom out. Let me zoom out a bit. So we can zoom in and zoom out. Good. I think this one is okay. You realize that when I click here, a drop down comes. So at a setting, I told you this conduct that you've entered there will appear here for the teachers to enter. So we can see that we can enter something here. But if we want the teachers to type it themselves, we can go to the create. Then at the create, he said, do you want to create a new drop down list or clear the existing ones? So we don't want to create, but let's take for instance, we want the teachers to type in everything without them selecting. We just go to no, and you realize that after clicking here, there will be no more drop down. So that means each teacher has to type in everything. So well done, more room for improvement. You have to type everything, which is very tedious. So we can create this list. When we go to create, then yes. So with this one, teacher will no more typing, just select from what we have built. So that's the function for the create here. Then we can also clear. So what I've typed here, I can just click on clear. Then we have enter 1 to clear the learner's names, or 2 to clear the appraiser or the command. So you realize that all these things that I've typed will go reworked. Then we have this one to see. And we can actually also search for student name, but we don't have any names here that also we can search. Then this icon here sometimes give us some error. If there's some error in it, it will just show that error here. So we have the average score, the class name here, the roll number. Then with these two, they're very important. So this for the appraiser. So we have the import and export button here. The export button will export all this window that we see here as an appraiser sheet for the teacher to do the conduct, everything, the conduct, remark. It will export an Excel sheet so that the teacher can enter the conduct, the remark, class teacher's remark. So this one is not one person is going to do it. You export it as a sheet, then we'll give it to the class teacher for them to work on it. Then we have a promotion tab. Remember, we are dealing with term 1. So with the term 1, we don't normally promote. So if by mistake you select term 1, so this is basic 7. So let's say promotion to basic 8. You realize that it has been limited here. So based on the level you are using, it will give you all the lists. If you are working on KG, you'll be seeing primary 1, primary 2. If you are working on nursery, you see KG 1 because you have to move from that side. And you cannot just jump a student from KG to, let's say, primary 5, which is not possible. But I know some can jump from class 4 to class 6 or basic 7. That's why we have this option here. And we are working on term 1. That means if you by mistake select any class to be promoted to, this class will not even appear on the report card because it's not term 3. It only appears on the report card when the term we are working on is term 3. So there will be no need for us to enter here. Then the date of birth. With the date of birth, you can just enter or ignore it. You can enter or ignore it. So that is it here. So it's showing the number of male and number of female. Now let's see how we are going to insert our student name. So this is the column where we can insert the student names. Let's note something. Because there is no name, when you press here, nothing is appearing at the action here. So we have two ways of inserting the student names: the paste command and the new command. With the new command, this one helps us to insert learning names one after the other. That's single. So I have my pre-names here that I've already typed for this tutorial. Let me open the names. So I have a boy called James here. So with the new name, I'll just copy, then I'll paste here without typing. Then I'll just select male. We've not done the attendance yet, so we just enter this one, or you enter the date of birth. You can choose to enter that. So the name, then the gender, that's the most important thing. These ones will be done later. Then we add. So we realize that the name James has what? New learner added successfully. So we can see our name here. So with this new button will help us to enter names 111. So sometimes in case if the student just joined, you can use this command to enter. But realize if we are going to use this one for all, it will be a time wasting. That's why we have this button called a paste. So with this paste, all you have to do is that you have to type the name of the boys and girls separate. That's the only thing. We've already added James. So the paste command, I just have to copy all the boys' name. Then I'll come here. Then using Ctrl plus V. So there's a new thing here. It says copy the row names. So the row names without 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'll just on my keyboard press Ctrl V. Then I've pasted. So you see that the name that were here, I've just copied them. Only the boys. Then I'll select the agenda, which is male. Then I'll add them. So you realize that all the names will be loading from this side. So Joseph is now here. Then Matthew. So it will load all the names that I've added in this window. So this one will help us to insert multiple learners names without using the 1111. We only use the 111, that one when if a student just joined. So you can use that one to insert only that person's name. But if you already have the name there, you can just copy and paste them here, then drop. Good. So names added successfully. Now you can see all our boys' names are appearing here. So let's add the girls, their names. So I have typed them here. Then copy. Then use the paste command, Ctrl V, females. Then they are also going to load all the female names. Then you can check something. It will be adding them alphabetically. So we can see adding from A column, then this column in that order. Good. Names have been also added successfully. Now we have all our names here, 46 students. Now let's see. So after adding the names, so in case there is any correction, say St. James, we want to change it to Asante. Realize that the moment I click, there will be some icons showing here. One will help us to clear the name or to edit the name. So let's edit this to Asante James. Now the green button here, then it will pop up like this. So we can just type in the correction that you want to do. So you can do your editing and adding, then let's update. You realize after updating, now it has changed to Asante James. So that's how we can also update it. Okay. So we've successfully added our student name. Please don't just copy the names and just click here and paste them. It might not work for all your continuous assessment. So the right way is to use either the new button or the paste button. And don't forget to always save your work. You can use the save button or you can use the shortcut, which is Ctrl+S, to save your work as you are progressing. Okay, so now that we've added all our names here, it will automatically, let's go to the term 1 worksheet here. So when we go to English, our student names have been occupied here. So now our system is fully set up. So all we have to do is to be exporting the continuous assessments to the class teachers for them to fill. So we've set up our system nicely. So in our next video, we are going to look at how to export the continuous assessment to the teachers. So in all, you are going to do this setting for each class. So you, after this one like this, I'll go to my folder. Then I'll also insert for I'll open basic 9 and insert the name for basic 9, basic 8 and insert the name for basic 8. That's the setup. So we've done this for basic 7 for this tutorial. Okay, before we look at the subject here, we're looking at how to insert the student picture. That one is very important. So in our next video, we are going to look at how we are going to insert the student ID. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you very much.